just came from a Candlelight Vigil at Oakland City Hall, Franco Gawa Plaza, on the same day that, as I speak, there's actually a memorial in Tucson, Arizona for the 19 people who were shot, 6 people who were killed by Jared Lee Lohner, the nutcase who opened fire on U.S. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords.
Face of violence to be the antidote for.
She's a friend. She's a brilliant woman, and she's a woman who sees not her job as a job, but as a mission. And you see how close she was to her constituents. She always talks about her district, her people, and she loves Tucson, and she loves this country. And I think the unfortunate irony is here she was, again, accessible. Gabby was always talking to people, accessible to people, and this horrific act of violence. She's in my thoughts and in my prayers, and we're pulling for her. She's a strong woman.
Given what happened, will you be doing anything differently?
Well, you know, that's a very sensitive question, and of course, I'm going to continue to be as accessible as I have been. I think part of what we have as elected officials to do is our work. In a democracy, the essence of a democracy is to listen and to be with people. And of course, we have to be practical, and we have to ensure that security protocols are in place, but in no way should this deter any of us from our work. And we're going to continue to work in our community and work with our people and continue to move forward.
You mentioned gun control up there. What are you planning to do next in that
Well,
effort?
we're looking at legislation right now in terms, of gun control and gun safety measures. That has been such a political hotbed. We haven't been able to move any legislation. So we're working with Congresswoman McCarthy and others to look to see how we can move some legislation forward. The specifics of each bill right now are being worked on. But we've got to have, especially in my community, we know the devastating effects of guns. We have to have gun safety and gun control measures, and maybe this gives us a chance now to regroup and to really recognize that the dangers of having too many guns out there are upon us, and we have to do something.
Congressman Peter King has legislation that, if passed, would actually prohibit people from actually carrying guns within 1,000 feet of a congressperson at an event. Do you support that?
Well, let me say, I don't think people should carry guns.
Yeah.
And so that's something, that has to be debated. But I think the issue is guns, and we have to look at how we can have gun control and gun safety measures.
About the fact that the Congresswoman is a very young woman and how this might be renewing the interest of politics in young people. A lot of young people are here tonight.
Well, young people really, I think, have risen to the occasion and want to be involved in maybe not necessarily politics, but in service, in community service, in public service, and working in their community, cleaning up the community, working in homeless shelters, working in health clinics. I think what's important is that we recognize that Gabby's life at her age, about 40 years old, she's a public servant, she's elected, and she came to this with a sense of commitment and a spirit to serve. And that's, I think, the example that young people all over the country have witnessed now, and that's an example that I believe young people are following.
When do you head back?
Next week.
Next week. Thank you.
Ms. Mayor, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. What can we do as citizens to stop the violence in Oakland? We've had 11 homicides, 6 homicides in 11 days.
Yes.
What can we do as citizens to help each other?
Well, first of all, this recent rash are around very specific gangs and very specific drug dealing activities. So I'm hoping that this is a spike and it goes down. As you know, the murder rate has been down 4 years in a row now. Last year we ended with 90 murders, which first time under 100 in many years, many less than the year Jerry Brown left as mayor, 134. So we've been seeing real progress, and so I'm hoping that progress will continue. I think we have to do a couple of things. On the local level, we have to really, we're going to be doing some particular police actions. We're going to be doing call-ins this week of people in that neighborhood. We're going to have more patrol. Our gang outreach programs have been so successful that the Obama administration gave us a grant. We're going to have extra 9 gang outreach workers on the streets in a couple of weeks. They're in the process of training right now. And our beat officers are back. And our beat officers know the neighborhoods better, would see the signs of these coming up.
And that's much needed, yeah.
It's very needed. So our beat officers are back because of Measure BB. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get this under control and bring the numbers back down. On the national level, I think you heard it tonight, the incident in Arizona and many of the recent incidents in Oakland use automatic weapons. Automatic weapons
Glocks.
injure many more people, injure them much more seriously, and we really have to, I think, as a nation, put pressure back on Congress to reinstitute the ban against automatic weapons.
Well said. And how can we help you as well? You have the Mentors Program, which I think is great.
So you could be one of my 2,000 mentors with Oakland
I'm proud
Stephens
to do
kids,
that.
right?
Wait.
You can.
I'm pledging to being one of her mentors right here.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you very much. You can sign up, contact Sue in my office. You can join us in our block-to-block efforts. We're starting in East Oakland in this fairly tough two neighborhoods, and then
Good
we'll be
choice,
moving
yeah.
to other neighborhoods.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Rebecca Kaplan, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked her. Where were you when the shooting happened you found out about?
Well, you know, it was such a horrific event that took place this past weekend in Arizona. But I also want to make sure to make clear, you know, that 30,000 people a year are victims of gun violence in America. And so absolutely this particular event has awakened our attention. And of course, Congresswoman Giffords, such an inspiring, amazing leader as well. And I'm incredibly honored to be part of this vigil here tonight. But I also want to make sure that we remember that there are many lives to be saved, and we have a lot of work to do to continue to strengthen efforts to prevent violence and to make sure that we're not promoting violence in any of our actions or our rhetoric either.
Well said. Excellent. Councilman Libby Schaft, thank you for your time. Where were you when the tragedy happened?
This last Saturday, I was actually at a community meeting in the Diamond, listening to plans for building a little community pocket park from neighbors that have worked very hard to organize and revitalize that community. I'll tell you, Zenny, you know, I am Oakland's newest elected official. I'm a young woman, and I wouldn't be able to say those words if it weren't for Congressmember Gabrielle Giffords. Gabrielle Giffords was one of the founders of Emerge Arizona, and I would not have had the courage to run for office myself if it hadn't been for Emerge California. And Gabrielle Giffords has been a leader in this country for encouraging women to take leadership roles in their communities. So this tragedy was really particularly personal and painful for me. So there were a lot of beautiful words issued tonight. I agree with them all, and I just hope we can all rededicate ourselves to being the peace that Oakland and this nation and this planet deserve.
That's a great message.
Thanks.